This is a special 5 in 10 report from Skywatch TV for Friday, May 31st, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert. This special report made necessary because I had prepared today's 5 in 10 update before the ruling yesterday. The verdict came in the hush money trial of Donald Trump in Manhattan. A jury there returning unanimous verdict on all 34 counts. President Trump found guilty of felony charges, 34 counts in the hush money case based on the money paid to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. If you've been getting your news about this case from the corporate media, you might think there was some legal basis for the prosecution. There was not. I predict that the guilty verdicts will be overturned on appeal, whether at the state, federal, or Supreme Court level. At some point, judges will look at the way this case was conducted, the rulings by Judge Juan Merchan, the prosecution by DA Alvin Bragg, and say, you men did not have the legal authority to do what you did. But in the meantime, Donald Trump is now the first and only former United States president who can be described by the words convicted felon. In a nutshell, what happened in New York was this: a misdemeanor charge, falsifying business records, for which the statute of limitations had long since expired, was resurrected, zombie-like fashion, by District Attorney Alvin Bragg and trumped up into federal charges, which a district attorney is not supposed to be. You need a U.S. attorney to file federal charges, but DA Bragg filed it, claiming that the misdemeanor was used to cover up another crime. The thing is, he never really explained to the jury what that other crime was. It might be tax evasion. It might have been election fraud. You decide, jury, you decide. And he presented 4 potential crimes. Judge Merchan allowed the jury to consider 3 of them. But then in the jury instructions, he allowed them to just pick. They didn't have to decide on which of the 3 potential crimes had been covered up by the expired misdemeanor. Again, this is even friendly to the prosecution. Legal analysts, like on CNN and MSNBC, were calling this a novel legal theory, which is a euphemism for no real legal basis for this trial to proceed. Judge Merchan allowed it. He refused to allow the defense to call an expert witness. For example, the former chairman of the Federal Election Commission, who was set to testify that even if the misdemeanor, the falsified business records, had been to influence the 2020 election, that did not constitute election fraud. There was no crime there. Judge Merchan refused to allow him to testify, so the jury never heard that. This is astonishing that this case was allowed to proceed in the first place, much less arrived at this conclusion. Again, it will almost certainly be overturned. But at least for now, Judge Merchan and DA Bragg enjoy their 15 minutes of fame as the only prosecutors to successfully charge a former president with a felony. This is not good for the country. Setting aside your political views of Donald Trump, whether you like him or hate him, you should be able to recognize that this prosecution is a bad thing for our republic. Because if they can do this to Donald Trump, even with his billions at his disposal to mount a legal defense, then you and I have no hope of getting a fair shake from the justice system. If the powers that be want to prosecute you for something, they will do it and they will succeed. This is like the Never-Trumpers and the Democrats flipping over the checkerboard and calling that a victory. The checkerboard being the rule of law in the United States based on our constitutionally protected rights that protect us from the power of a central government. If this is the way, the new normal, if this is the way things proceed from here on out, you can bet that there are already Republican district attorneys and attorneys general preparing legal cases to file against Joe Biden the minute Mr. Biden leaves the White House. And this will probably be true for every president from now until the end of this republic. They'll be impeached and indicted so that they're afraid to do anything going forward. If this is how politics is going to be fought in the United States going forward, you are witnessing, with this case, the beginning of the dissolution of the United States of America. I'm Derek Gilbert. This has been a special update from Skywatch TV.